Have you ever found yourself standing in front of the fridge at 2 or 3 in the morning, not even sure what you're doing there? You're not necessarily hungry, but something inside you feels restless. Maybe your stomach is making noises. Maybe your chest feels tight. Maybe you're just wide awake scrolling through your phone, looking for something to distract you from the fact that sleep just isn't coming. And even though you ate dinner, maybe even had a little dessert, there's a strange emptiness that doesn't feel quite like physical hunger, but also doesn't go away. If any of that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And if you're like how I used to be, you might have told yourself it's just stress, or that you just need more willpower to stay out of the kitchen. Or maybe you blamed your hormones, your work schedule, your phone addiction, or even your lack of exercise. I blamed all of those at some point, but let me tell you what no one told me for years. You might not be broken. Your body might not be working against you. You might just be missing 2 simple things in your diet: enough protein and enough fiber. This episode isn't about selling you a supplement. It's not about convincing you to give up your favorite foods. It's about connecting the dots between what you're eating and why your body keeps sending those 2 a.m. signals. It's about understanding the biology of nighttime cravings, that strange midnight restlessness, and the foods that quietly sabotage your ability to feel satisfied, calm, and deeply rested. I know that might sound dramatic, but what if I told you that fixing this loop starts with changing what's on your plate, not what's in your head? Let me rewind a little. A few years ago, I had a regular 9-to-5 job, nothing crazy, and I considered myself pretty health conscious. I ate salads, I went to the gym, I tried to avoid junk food. But almost every night, I'd wake up around 2 or 3 in the morning, wide awake. Sometimes with a low-level anxiety that I couldn't explain, sometimes with stomach gurgling that felt like hunger, but not really, and a weird craving that bounced between sweet and salty. At first, I thought maybe it was dehydration, so I started drinking more water. That helped a bit, but didn't fix the issue. Then I thought, okay, maybe it's my blood sugar. So I cut down on sugar, avoided desserts, and even tried keto for a while. I did lose some weight, but the midnight wake-ups kept happening. What finally shifted things wasn't a diet at all. It was a conversation with a nutritionist who asked me a question no one had ever asked before. She said, "What's the first thing you eat in the morning, and how much protein are you getting in a day?" I blinked and said, I don't know, maybe some toast and coffee?" She smiled and said, "That explains everything." I didn't get it at first, but she explained that for many people, especially those of us dealing with low energy, anxiety, trouble sleeping, or nighttime cravings, the problem doesn't start at night. It starts at breakfast, or rather, the lack of a proper one. See, your body isn't just burning calories randomly, it's constantly scanning your blood for certain nutrients. When you eat a carb-heavy breakfast with very little protein or fiber, like toast, cereal, or even fruit with coffee, you spike your blood sugar quickly and then crash within hours. That crash doesn't always make you faint or shaky. Sometimes it makes you anxious or restless or extra snacky later in the day. And if you repeat that crash cycle all day long, your nervous system never quite settles. You go to bed with low blood sugar, low serotonin, and a tired body that can't truly relax. You wake up at 2 a.m., not because you're a broken sleeper, but because your body is literally asking for fuel. It doesn't know where else to get it, so it wakes you up. The thing is, we're not taught this. We're told to eat less, move more, and maybe avoid screen time before bed. And those are all valid tips. But if you're constantly underfueling your body with the wrong balance of nutrients, you're setting yourself up for this exact pattern. The cravings, the midnight wake-ups, the struggle to fall back asleep. And what blew my mind was how fast things started to shift when I changed what I ate, especially in the first half of the day. The first change I made was to my breakfast. Instead of toast and coffee, I started having Greek yogurt with chia seeds and berries, or sometimes eggs with avocado and whole grain toast. I made sure I was getting at least 25 to 30 grams of protein before noon. That meant paying more attention to what I was actually eating, not just how many calories were on the label. I also added more fiber to my meals, not from powders or pills, just from simple things like lentils, oats, chickpeas, apples, carrots, leafy greens, things my grandmother used to eat without overthinking. And slowly, day by day, I stopped waking up in the middle of the night. Not completely overnight, but enough to notice. I felt less wired at night. My mood stabilized. And the crazy part, I didn't feel deprived. I actually enjoyed my food more because it finally made me feel full, calm, and energized in a way that sugary snacks never could. So let's talk a little bit about what's actually going on inside your body when you're low on protein and fiber. Protein is not just about muscles, it's about repair. Every time you move, think, breathe, your body is breaking down and building itself back up. Protein provides the amino acids your body uses to repair tissues, make hormones, build neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. Without enough protein, you're not just losing muscle, you're slowing down every repair process in your body, including your brain chemistry. That's why low protein intake is often linked to anxiety, low mood, and trouble sleeping. Now, fiber. Fiber is the underrated superstar of the nutrition world. Soluble fiber, the kind found in oats, beans, apples, flax seeds, helps slow down digestion, balance blood sugar, and feed the good bacteria in your gut. And when your gut bacteria are happy, they produce compounds that directly affect your brain, like serotonin, which helps regulate mood and sleep, and short-chain fatty acids, which reduce inflammation. Most Americans get less than half of the fiber they need. The recommended daily intake is around 25 to 38 grams, but the average adult only gets 10 to 15. That's like trying to run a car on fumes and wondering why the engine sounds off. When you combine low fiber and low protein, you get a body that's always slightly stressed. Even if you're doing yoga, meditating, or journaling, if your body doesn't feel nourished, it's going to stay in a low-level state of fight or flight. And one of the biggest signs of that? Nighttime awakenings. Especially between 1 and 4 a.m., which is when your liver is most active in blood sugar regulation. If your liver doesn't have what it needs, it sends a panic signal, and you wake up hungry, anxious, or just unsettled. So if your body's trying to tell you something at 2 in the morning, maybe it's time to stop blaming your stress, your phone, or your busy life. Maybe it's just hungry for the kind of nourishment that helps you stay grounded. That's what I started realizing the more I paid attention to my own patterns. Because once I shifted my meals to prioritize protein and fiber, something kind of magical happened. I stopped having that 3 p.m. crash where I felt like I needed coffee or sugar to survive the rest of the day. I stopped grazing mindlessly through the kitchen after dinner. My cravings got quieter, my sleep got deeper, and perhaps most surprising of all, I started waking up before my alarm feeling actually rested. I can't tell you how foreign that feeling was to me. I didn't realize how much of my fatigue was actually nutritional stress. Not emotional, not mental. Just physical undernourishment in a modern world that teaches us to fear food more than we understand it. And I know you might be wondering right now, okay, so what does a protein and fiber-rich day actually look like? I get it. It sounds abstract until you actually see it in action. So let me walk you through a simple day. No fancy ingredients, no strict rules, just meals that work. Breakfast. This is the foundation. Most people eat breakfast that's either carb-heavy or nothing at all. But for me, once I made breakfast protein-based, everything started to shift. One of my go-tos is a bowl of plain Greek yogurt, about a cup, which already gives you around 20 grams of protein. I add a tablespoon of chia seeds, which add fiber, omega-3s, and help you stay full. Then a handful of berries like blueberries or raspberries. Not only do they taste great, but they add antioxidants and fiber too. If I want something warm, I'll make scrambled eggs with spinach and avocado on whole grain toast. That's another easy 20 to 25 grams of protein with fiber and healthy fats that actually keep your blood sugar stable. Lunch. I aim for lean protein with legumes or veggies. One favorite is grilled chicken breast or canned tuna mixed with chickpeas, olive oil, lemon juice, and chopped cucumber. Added over a bed of greens or in a whole grain wrap. Chickpeas add protein and fiber. The olive oil helps you absorb fat-soluble vitamins, and the combo keeps me full for hours without that heavy, sluggish feeling. Dinner. This used to be my downfall. I'd either skip dinner because I was too busy or eat something quick like noodles or pizza. Now I focus on something warm and nourishing. Lentil soup with carrots, celery, and a boiled egg on the side. Or a stir-fry of tofu and vegetables over brown rice or quinoa. Again, not fancy, but full of protein, fiber, and flavor. And here's the thing, when I eat like this, I'm not even thinking about snacks. But if I do get hungry, I reach for things like a boiled egg, a small protein bar with clean ingredients, apple slices with peanut butter, or roasted edamame. The point isn't to be perfect, it's to build consistency. To stop reacting to your body with guilt and start responding with fuel. And honestly, the emotional impact is huge. Because when you stop waking up hungry at night, you start waking up to a life that feels more balanced. Less chaotic. Your sleep improves, which makes your mood better. Your mood gets better, so you make better food choices. And the cycle that used to feel so frustrating suddenly becomes something empowering. You realize you're not broken. You're just underfed in the ways that matter. Now let me be clear. There are still nights where I wake up. Life happens. Stress still shows up. But the difference is that I now have the foundation to handle it. I'm not spiraling through my pantry or lying awake wondering why I can't turn off my brain. I understand my patterns. I trust my meals. I sleep better not because I found the perfect supplement, but because I found a way of eating that supports my body instead of confusing it. And that's what I want for you. If you're someone who struggles with nighttime cravings or can't seem to stay asleep, I want you to try this. Not forever. Just give it 7 days. 7 days of breakfast with at least 25 grams of protein. 7 days of meals that include real fiber from plants, not powders, just food. Pay attention to how you feel. Track your sleep if you want, or just listen to your body. You don't need to count calories or weigh your portions. Just eat like someone who deserves to feel calm, strong, and nourished. There's something deeply powerful about reclaiming the way you eat, especially in a culture that sells us extremes, either restriction or indulgence, either meal plans that feel like punishment or comfort foods that never quite comfort us. But the truth is, your body doesn't need extremes. It needs rhythm, it needs balance, it needs real fuel. And that starts with the most basic building blocks we often overlook. So next time you find yourself opening the fridge at 2 a.m., ask yourself, not what you want to eat in that moment, but what your body was missing the day before. What if the real answer isn't in the midnight snack, but in the breakfast you skipped, or the lunch that was more carbs than care? What if your body's not trying to sabotage you, but trying to speak to you? For me, the turning point wasn't when I stopped snacking at night. It was when I finally started feeding myself with intention, with real food, with enough protein to rebuild, with enough fiber to restore, and with the grace to let go of guilt and lean into nourishment. If you're ready to give your body what it's been asking for, I've created a simple meal plan that includes a full day of protein and fiber-rich meals, using affordable ingredients and nothing complicated. You can find the link in the description. And if you want more episodes like this, make sure to follow or subscribe, because we'll be diving into what high protein really means, why fiber is a gut-healing superhero, and how to eat like someone who wants to sleep deeper, feel better, and live more fully. You don't need to fight your cravings. You just need to feed them wisely.